We are on the air, the Artie Quitter podcast, special podcast here on a Sunday. Anyway, Chelsea Handler. Add Chelsea Handler to the seemingly never-ending list of late-night hosts who got emotional with late-night host. You're on a fucking... You're like doing it from your basement, sweetie. By the way, if she does a show from her basement, who does she blow? Her father? Does she blow her father because he owns the basement? This is all legend. I don't know if she ever blew. Well, she was in an open relationship with the head of E for the exact same time she had an E show.
Yeah.
That relationship ended. And guess what else ended?
Yeah.
Chelsea Handler left. This just in the celebrity relationship. Chelsea Handler and the president of E, Don McFucking, I'm a pussyberg. Don Emasculated Berg. No, he was a nice guy. I met him. Chelsea Handler and the head of E, their relationship is over. Something else is over, the Chelsea Handler show on E. Make room for two ferns with Zach Galifianakis. Very funny, by the way. From the episode's beginning, it was clear that Handler was having a hard time keeping it together. Since the fucking Decades premiere, it's been hard. I think the show is going to be a little different for all of us. Is it going to be funny? Could that be better news? Like a lot of people in this country. Well, country. It could be Cunty. That's her nickname, by the way. She doesn't know it, but that's her nickname. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I'm confused. Well, it's a regular Tuesday night for you. Sounds like every guy you ever dated. Sad, disappointed, and confused. The Chelsea Handler story. I dated Chelsea Handler. Sad, disappointed, confused. That could be like the Seven Dwarfs of Chelsea. The Seven Dwarfs that dated Chelsea Handler. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I'm confused. I'm grumpy. I'm a Coke dealer. I'm sneezy. No evidence she ever did Coke. But if Hillary can make it through a concession speech, then I can make it through a stupid television show.
Oh.
Can you believe that came out of her mouth? Can you believe that came out of her mouth? Was anybody thinking there was a comparison? If Chelsea can make it through a concession... Chelsea didn't give a... what's your name, Hillary? If Hillary didn't give a fucking concession speech. How terrible. All those people who supported her, they went to the Javits Center, sat through the Pittsburgh Platter. And what happens? All they want to do is this woman that they clearly worship. These are demented, awful people. You know what's not? The mental institutions want you back by 4. You have to get back there. They made up signs. A bunch of probably cost them out of their own pocket. I was told I'd be reimbursed to make the "I'm with her" sign. Any chance? No. Fuck off. Did you say no? Fuck off? Yeah, that'll be in an email too from Podesta. She sends that creepy, wiry, fucking, probably illegal alien himself, David Podesta.
John Podesta.
Thank you, Dan. And he gives a fucking really impassioned. Listen, guys, sorry. We're a good campaign. We'll see you tomorrow. Fuck you. She doesn't come out. You lost, sweetie. Everybody hates your guts. He won with white women. He won with your own people. You sucked. You know what? You probably voted for him. Hillary Clinton probably hates herself, too. This just in, Hillary Clinton voted for Trump. White women, he won. Hispanics. You people lied about what he said when he came out. All Hispanics. No, he didn't say that, first of all. And maybe they're the only ones who understand fucking English. Listen. Okay. I hate Chelsea Handler. I hate most of this, the hypocrisy of this. Jimmy Fallon handled it the best. He seemed to be the most real about it. And he fucked around with Trump. He messed up his hair. And by the way, so did SNL. What happened to Lorne Michaels? God, talk about turning on him. That's the one thing I want to fight. Kate McKinnon last night opened up SNL. Someone has to explain to me what's going on. What do they think is going to happen? Kate McKinnon ain't going nowhere. Odd-looking woman. She sang a song last night on the piano as if, first of all, we get it. We show you off your talent. Wow. She wants people all over the country. Wow, on top of being hilariously funny, she can play the piano and sing. Wow, what a talented... Make another Ghostbusters. By the way, Ghostbusters, midget women. Next one.
Okay.
Because midget women are funny.
Now that'll be funny.
Dude, absolutely. If they did it with midget women, I'm there. Might be the funniest movie of all time. Midget Ghostbusters. Midget women Ghostbusters. What's her face? The black chick, though, Pat. What's her name? She was very good in it.
I don't.
I saw
Leslie.
Leslie Stahl.
Yeah.
Leslie Down. What's her name?
Leslie. Is it Jones? Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones. Dan, you know who she is. Please just tell me.
I just don't. I
Like
want
the
to make
fake, like, you know. I don't know. Why do you think you're not an asshole for knowing who Leslie Jones is? I'm upset. I don't know. She's not SNL. I should know it. Leslie Jones. Right. Exactly. Thank you. Jesus. The fake. I don't know shit. I'm over it. Just say Leslie Jones. You're still a man. She was great in it. I saw it. I watched it at a hotel. She's amazing in it. That's the one bright spot, Leslie Jones. She does this great character, a loud black woman. What the fuck is going on? I'm an uneducated white man. I guess I am Trump's guy, but I didn't vote for Trump. I wouldn't vote for Donald Trump for president. I'm not crazy either, but I wouldn't vote for. What's going on? It's terrible. What's going on is terrible. People hate her guts that much. Here's the problem with Trump. I read, my friend Judd Apatow, very vocal about it, wrote, an impassioned 5-page thing, and he brings up a lot of good points. It's no one thought he was going to win. I didn't think he was going to win either, but for comedy, it was amazing. Here's the thing, is the regulation thing. How real is that? What does that mean? Will you not have to wear a helmet on a construction site anymore? Okay. Here's the real, I don't care anything else about Trump. He's just going to be an average president except for two major things. The Supreme Court thing. If he's going to say fuck off, and I'm going back on my promises with one thing, try to build the wall, whatever the fuck, I don't care. I hope he goes back on the fucking religious nut thing with because that got him into. I mean, the religious nuts about abortion. That was a one-issue fucking election for a lot of religious nuts in the Bible Belt, and abortion, and the Supreme Court. And if he nominates one of these people who will try to overturn Roe v. Wade, that's the worst thing ever. That is there's no way he does that as a rational human being. No way. He's got to break that promise. If he's really like that, and guess who really pushes that is Pence. Pence is a religious lunatic. He has not denounced some of the shit he said. Okay, that's the first thing. He's got to really put in someone who's going to keep abortion legal. You have to keep abortion legal. It is true. Women should at the end, there were times when I got a woman pregnant once and she had an abortion. It was her decision. There were times where we thought I got a woman pregnant, and it turns out I don't look exactly like Michael Cooper from the Lakers. No, I'm saying Coop. I'm saying that. I was, as a rational man, I said, listen, I have to be very involved in this decision up till the end. But at the very end, if you decide, after a lot of, I just want you to really think about it. And if in the end you decide, no, it's your body, I get it, I will pay for it, drive you there, be as supportive as possible. Unless there's a giant came up. Of course, I say that, that's what has to happen. A woman has to retain the right to just, at the end, make that call. It sucks if a lot of them do it for the wrong reasons and people casually get pregnant. It does suck, but it's got to be legal because people will do it anyway. Just put a hanger over your head and walk out and lobby Mr. Trump. Go, see this hanger? This will be up my pussy in about 2 weeks because they're going to do it anyway. The second thing goes back to Pence and religion, too. Pence has said out loud that he thinks gay people can be cured. That's scary. He's the vice president. He's a heartbeat away. He's a black guy with a good aim away. He's a Mexican with a good fucking slingshot away. For being president, could you imagine? I mean, that is fucking the scariest thing ever. He thinks gay is a choice, and he thinks they can be cured. What? There's got to be checks and balances, right? Dan, tell me, you know more. There's checks and balances in the way that he can't ever do something like that.
Oh, sure he can.
Yeah,
but
he can.
With the Supreme Court thing with abortion, the Supreme Court has upheld abortion 4 or 5 times already, so that's going to be really hard.
Right. Yeah.
But it can
so
happen.
They go back. So whoever this nut is who we'd put in, there'd be a lot.
Right.
There'd be a lot of influence. Like in the back, they go, look, it ain't happening.
Right.
And that right, okay. So that's not realistic.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it is. There's a 50-50
Realistic,
chance.
look, it's realistic that he put somebody in who would do that.
Right.
Who would be for that.
Right.
But to actually get to the vote process, that's crazy.
Right. It'd take a long time.
There'd be a revolt. I mean, look, nothing has happened yet. They haven't given him a shot. There are fucking protests all over the place. And Trump's right. A lot of them are professional guys, but a lot of them aren't. Ain't nothing professional about what some of these people are doing. First of all, whoever made when they burned Trump in effigy in Portland, whoever made the Trump thing, they made him Asian.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to get a better person for that. That's the first thing
the Artie Lang one from New Orleans is better. The big head.
Go fuck yourself. That's the worst thing I ever saw in my life. Are you disgusting human being? That's the worst thing. I look bloated. I look like me on lithium. But the Trump one in Portland, he's Asian. All right, so maybe but again, Pence better keep a lid on that because people will go nuts. Look what they're doing now. And these protesters. Look, I tweeted out something and people got mad. It was just a dumb joke. People talking about the protesters, their final destination point was Trump Tower. And people said, where did they start? I said, they started in the vagina of an overcomely woman. And why did why is that? Am I pro-Trump? No, I'm not. That just happened with a joke I thought of. I'm a comedian. I tweet out jokes. Some suck. Some are okay. Some kill. The ones that kill is the reason we're in this apartment right now. I'm a comedian. I go for the joke that's funny in my head at the time. I can't give myself limits to one party. Are you kidding me? It's hard enough with no limits. So that's what I do. I goofed on the independent guy. Jill Stein was not in my wheelhouse. 1% I can't make jokes. No one's getting that at Caroline's. But on the I don't give a fuck show by others. And and when I made fun of Hillary, I made fun of Trump, both of them. So get off my fucking ass. But they say who are you for? The reason I'll do whatever Judd Apatow says, whatever he says. Why? Because guess what party I'm for? Me, the Artie Party. I'm the Artie Party, the grand old Artie Party. That's who I'm for. And Judd Apatow is a fucking sweetheart. The man's a saint in my house. Guy gave me a job on HBO. Dude, are you kidding me? Whatever Judd says, I will drive Judd and his family to the voting booth. I should have.
He is our Bible.
You got that fucking right. Someone gives Apatow shit. Them fighting words. He's got a guinea from Jersey protecting him. I'm more than an actor, Yard. I'm a bodyguard. Consider me a bodyguard, Judd. One of these fucking assholes tries to get in your face. He's got a right hand to the fucking clocking him. Chances are I'll know the guy's family. And I did. Judd made. He's an intelligent guy. These points of the regulations is big. But again, I really think Trump bullshit a lot of people to get elected. The Twitter is crazy. I don't think people might find this crazy. I don't think Trump's a racist. I really don't. And anti-Semitic, Trump is Hitler. We did the bit the other day. Dan was uptight about it.
I was not.
That's me trying to use comedy. I'm exaggerating, but Trump-Hitler comparison. Really think about that. Let's take it literally. By the way, I think Ivanka's daughter became a Jew.
They were saying that on the TV shows this morning.
I know it's ridiculous.
And the people that voted for him in the Midwest are not racist. They're not racist at all.
Is Bill Belichick a racist? Well, probably. Bad example. A former Giant defensive coordinator, white guy. Bad example.
I'd like Jay Cutler to be a racist.
Watch a guy who watched Lawrence Taylor sleep through his coaching session. Probably not a bad example. So I don't know. Maybe we should give him a shot here. I don't know. I really, the severity of anger and disappointment and sadness on the other side makes you go, "Am I missing something? Am I missing something?" College-educated people, a lot of them voted for. I didn't go to college. I didn't. Is there something they teach you? Is there a course that goes, Hillary Clinton's great. Hillary Clinton's great. Here's why. Here's why you shouldn't vote for her. Well, I don't get it. I hate that Tom Brady likes him. Fucker. Were you able to tear yourself away from deflating balls and fucking a chick long enough? That's all his life is. Deflating balls, fuck a chick. Deflating balls, fuck a chick. The life of Tom Brady. Deflate a ball, fuck a chick. Deflate a ball, fuck a chick. Fuck you. Oh, God, if he gets another ring. Oh, my God. What's their record?
I think they have one loss.
Hey, the four suspended games, what was their record?
They won 3 of the 4, I think.
3 more?
Yeah. So I think they're...
Yeah, okay, whatever. Who was quarterback? I wasn't following. I was following the election because I'm very political.
I don't remember. I can tell you.
Thanks, Dan. Good job. No, I'm kidding. Who cares? By the way, a quick thing on my Twitter. Go check it out. Somebody found me roasting Trump for the Friars Club in 2004. It was not for Comedy Central. It was when, of course, if you follow comedy, I was voted the best roaster of that afternoon. It was a brunch. October the 15th, 2004, right around the time Howard, talked about Sirius, announced a Sirius deal 12 years ago, man. I'm thin, I am ossified drunk. Regis Philbin, who seems sober, introduces me as Artie Stern from the Howard Lang Show. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. He's the MC, Regis the MC, and I go up, I do about a 12-minute bit. And it's probably the best I ever did roasting. I love it. Again, I kill, and I got voted best roaster. Fuck off. Post and Daily News. Thank you. And the New York Observer. Well, they always do a nice review of the roast. Best roaster there. I debuted the Borgata joke, which became controversial. And Trump is right next to 2 shot of Regis introduced me. I go up there. I call Regis a drunk fuck. And then I rattle off jokes. Doing very well there. I'm proud of it. But Trump is right next to me, laughing. We shake hands. Our future president. It is surreal to me. Check it out on my Twitter, me roasting Trump from 04. And you can tell I like the guy. I met him. I hung out with him at that after party. It was like a brunch thing. I did Stern that morning. Here was my life back then. I hosted Stern, walked to the Hilton to do the roast. They did it at the Hilton on 6th Avenue. I go to my room. They got me a room up in the Hilton. I crush 5 fucking Percocets into Jack Daniels. I swig that down. I go roast them. Later that weekend, I fly to Vegas. I do a gig at the Hard Rock. I fly back. Get back on the Stern Show. 72 hours. I co-host Stern, roast Trump, play Vegas. $100K on top of my regular salary.
Oh, God.
Life was moving fast. So much fucking fun. 4 days after my 37th birthday is this roast. October 15th. In the year of our Lord, 2004. I wouldn't change a thing. I would not change a thing. I love this life. I love Dan. All right. I'm on the Opie show quite a bit, and I like it. I'm on Opie and Anthony. By the way, Anthony wants me to be the new Opie, and Opie wants me to be the new Anthony. No, I'm kidding. They're such great guys. Really, I wish I would have got to know them. They're great guys. They're very talented. They're so much fun to do the radio with, and I've done Anthony's podcast a couple times. Anthony's podcast is so much fucking fun. What a talented motherfucker he is. Good guy. And I enjoy doing his show. And I'm on Opie on Sirius, the new show in the afternoon. Opie's new show there is great. I've done that a couple times. And Opie does a great thing where, much like we do, he tweets out best of stuff from the shows. And after I do it, a lot of times they tweet out whole segments I was in. And I'm proud of it. And a lot of people ask about it on my Twitter because they who listen to the podcast because they don't have Sirius. And so I put together a best of compilation. There's 3 things that they tweeted out. This is me doing a bit about Liam Neeson. What you're going to hear. I'm doing an intro for it. I'm going to end this podcast by playing these right in a row. Danny put it together, which I appreciate. A bit I do about Liam Neeson and all the movies like Taken, and me doing something called Gandhi Rat. It'll be explained in it. Morgan Spurlock, who's a guy I've known for 20 years, did a movie about the rats. Amazing movie. What's that called? Do you remember? I don't want to plug it. If you Google Morgan Spurlock and rats, you Google it. It's a great, great documentary. He plugged it there a few weeks ago, and I do something called Gandhi Rat. And it's me talking about the Stern stuff, which got insane amount of hits because there's curiosity there. And again, I'm burying all that stuff, but this is a replay. I wanted to plug Opie's new show and show that I have a blast doing it, and appease the people who are asking to hear that stuff that don't have Sirius on Twitter who listen to the podcast. I appreciate you people. I love you people.
It's just called Rats.
It's called Rats. About Henry Hill. Rats. And that's it. It's President Trump, guys. Get used to it. Chelsea Handler, by the way, you said people told you you have a voice. We need your voice. We don't need your voice. Those people are bullshitting you. I'd like you to move to Spain. Please. I'll pay for the fucking. I'll pay for a propeller plane, not a jet.
Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear her?
Yeah, please. Let's hear that.
Okay.
I'm trying to videotape this. I was going to leave the country yesterday. That was my intention, to go into work and to say, I can't stay.
Nobody cares.
And everyone that I worked with said, you cannot. We need you. We need your voice. And we need you to
We need
stay,
jobs.
And we need you to fight for all those people that don't have a voice.
Those people are giggling.
And they're right. So I'm
They're
not
wrong.
leaving the country. This is my announcement. I'm going to keep fighting for Hillary Clinton.
Nobody gives
in
a
honor
shit.
of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I'm trying to videotape this.
Where is she right now? I thought it was on her show. Where is she doing?
No, that was on the way to her show. She did a selfie.
Where did she do her show on the set of the Jetsons?
Now, you want to hear the show one?
Well, yeah.
Okay, because there were two that she was.
A selfie. Should have put that on the shelfie.
Okay, here it goes.
Wait, I have a reaction from the fans. Please move to Spain. España. Viva la España. Go ahead.
What I know for a woman, as a woman, it feels so sexist.
The dumb
and
twat.
I guess the message that I want to like spread out to other
I went
women
an egg.
is exactly what you're saying, is not to give up. Sorry, I hate fucking crying.
She's
I can't
doing
remember,
this. She's doing
know.
this.
is not to give up, because this is so important, and it's easy to say
about
throw
shutting
in
up?
the towel and that we're going to leave, or I'm going to move to
Throw a
Spain,
towel on your
because
face
I want
and
to move
fuck
to
her.
Spain. I really, really want to move to Spain right now.
She's with Senator Barbara Boxer, by the way.
Who's that?
She's a senator from California.
Now-
Barbara Boxer?
Yeah.
I saw that chick?
Yeah.
She has a face like a boxer. That's why she called that? Is Boxer a nickname? You have a face like Iran Barkley. You look like the white Iran Barkley, Senator. That was the ugliest woman I've ever seen in my life. That's who was with her?
Yes, yeah.
That's why, because Chelsea actually looks decent next to her. How haggard does Chelsea Handler look?
Oh.
And didn't she do the Ancestry celebrity thing where she found out she was a Nazi?
I don't know.
Yeah, she did celebrity, and she was crying over the fact that there's like Nazi blood in her family. Chelsea Hitler. Heil Handler.
And everyone in my office is like, you have a responsibility. You have a voice.
First
and
of
you
all,
need
the
to
fact
use
that
it, and you have to-
she has an office. I just thought. Okay, yeah, she has. Listen to this applause. God, she has a responsibility. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Who are those idiots?
But
Talking about deplorable.
when you're talking about stuff like the Electoral College, and we're talking about, rules, just the language I think that he used in this candidacy,
English.
in my mind, should be, that should disqualify somebody from being
What
a
about her
candidate.
language?
If you're caught lying on camera
Okay,
three times in a row.
stop. Okay. Bill Clinton, who will be living in the White House again, stuffed a fat chick under a dime. Like she couldn't fit. You realize the cops said when they got there. You realize, and the Kenneth Starr, the investigator, she couldn't fit under the desk. He had to grease up the. Supposedly he had to shove her under the desk.
Oh, God.
And just have her mouth sticking out so he could fuck her mouth. And he put a cigar in her pussy in the Oval Office. Could you imagine if there was tape of that? What is this dumb cunt talking about? Yeah, Dan, I'm sorry.
If you're referring to a woman's genitalia, those are non-presidential things, unpresidential
How
things.
about never showing your tax returns? The only one in modern history.
Who gives a shit?
Ridiculous.
Dan, stop.
How
it.
about
I can't listen to this. Everything. The only one in modern history. Just fucking go eat your bowl of fucking growl. Ugly woman. The first one in history. He's not supposed to. He doesn't have to. You dicklick. He doesn't have to show his taxes, so he didn't. Why would he if it might hurt him? What the fuck are you talking about? Trump got lucky that WikiLeaks boy hated the Clintons like everybody else. If he hated Trump more, and first of all, the taxes did come out, by the way. They were stolen or hacked and sent to the New York Times. Who printed them? Gladly. Also printed all of his tweets to make him look like an idiot. Got him elected. Because the country hates you. You elite, condescending fucks. You got another fucking guy. You got John Kerry lost because of you. John Kerry lost, I think, specifically because of Ashton Kutcher's PSA. Ashton Kutcher did a thing for John Kerry that it was so infuriating. It was like the white version of what the earthquake went through with P. Diddy. I said, this shit is serious. All right, let's go. Go ahead. Blend it.
Hold on, I was going Ashton Kutcher.
That's all right. You know, I mean, it's basically...
She stopped. That's the...
yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's the most of the crime.
Guys, people listening to Chelsea Handler, who is? She's not a celebrity anymore, guys. In other words, as she gets older and uglier, guys who are heads of shittier networks will fuck her. You know what I mean? Like, the quality of guys she can blow is going down, and the quality of jobs they have is going down. So now she's on Netflix. Pretty sure she'll be blowing someone who has, like, a cable access show in Secaucus. Ted Harbert is the name of the guy who was the head of E, and he publicly dated her. I met Ted Harbert. Howard, by the way, I don't know what he thinks. Howard thinks that guy's a boob. Howard went to Boston University with the guy. He hated him. Thought he was an idiot. A rich boy. Rich kid. Got to be the head of this and that. Got a job at ABC because Daddy helped. I suppose he had an influence that whatever. I met him. The guy is a talking head. The guy's a dumber version of Dan Rather. I asked him what the frequency Kenneth was. And he dated Chelsea Handler. He dated Chelsea Handler 6 months before Chelsea Handler got the show. He started dating her. 6 months after 6 months after they broke up, the show ended. What I'm saying is that might not be a coincidence. Look, again, I'm for whatever Judd Apatow says. I love the man. Can't wait for Crashing to start. Thank you for that tape, Dan. I enjoy this Opie stuff, and Dan, I love you. Take care, Bush.
Liam Neeson, every movie Liam Neeson makes now, he makes a list of why he's a bad person, but he can do the one thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a good person. I was a bad cop. I beat my wife. I cheated on my children. But I didn't hijack this plane. And with your help, I can save this plane. Listen, you're going to read a lot about me in the next 1 hour on the internet.
Dude, I can't.
I'm not a good person.
I can't pay
I'm not
you.
a good person. I raped a child once. I punched a nun in the face.
I can't put beer bottles on my hands and fight a wolf.
I used the N-word once. But I didn't hijack this train.
I haven't really mastered an American accent ever.
There's no way. I didn't kidnap this child.
Dude, do you ever see him on A-Team? Just him doing Americans, the funny. It's like, let my team handle it one time. Like,
every
awful
single
American.
movie is the same script now. He's an anti-hero who's a loser, an alcoholic, but he can do one thing that'll save the world.
Yeah.
And at some point in the first act of the movie, he lists all of his shitty, like, sure, I beat up my wife. Yeah. That's fine. I ran guns to Cuba. Sure, you're going to read that. That's true.
I molested several children in secret over a long period of time.
I'm a heroin addict. I've smoked crack. I've sold crack to children.
Yeah, walk among the tombstones. He does that, right?
He does the whole thing, and then he goes, but I'm your father. And I'm going to save you.
And he kills a guy who looks like me.
I didn't sodomize your wife. That's bullshit.
I'm not a good person. I love that.
Sure, I had a few drinks at Christmas. What the hell? Kill me.
But I didn't hijack this train.
I didn't hijack this train.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. That's the best
Taking
thing
phone
ever.
speech. Let's try. I got to hear this now.
I don't know who you are.
Who you are?
I don't know what you want.
I have
If
skills.
you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have
What I do have.
is a very particular set of skills.
I've never made money in my life.
I suck at the stock market.
I've never been employable.
I have a drug habit, but I don't save.
And I made a list once that I regret.
Sure, I tripped refugees in Syria. I blindsided the referee during a high school game. You're going to see all of that.
I won't let the fags get married.
It's all going to come out.
I tweeted some very questionable things about a black woman.
I refuse to give gays a marriage license. Sure, you're going to see all that.
Like what I can do.
But I didn't invent AIDS.
Yes.
No, it's...
I made a list once.
Yes, I made a list once, and I regret it terribly.
It was too long. This could have been another person.
Yes.
This ring was two more people.
I should have kept the diamonds.
But I make great listicles on Gawker.
Sure, I was pro-Holocaust. You're going to read all of that. Some of you are reading it right now on your iPad. Okay, fine.
I said the Jews were responsible for all the wars. One time.
Yes, I did plant a tree of righteousness. I wish I hadn't.
Sure, I co-produced Mel Gibson's last movie. Right.
I also co-produced his answering machine tapes.
Yes.
I used a private server for email. Sure.
Yes. I kissed a 4-year-old Jewish girl at my birthday party.
Did I insult Megyn Kelly? Yes, of course I did.
I told the Benghazi.
You're gonna read all this.
You're gonna read all of this. I'm sure.
I was a fast food spokesman who molested children.
Benghazi called me for help, and I said, "Praise Allah, burn in hell."
Can I honestly say I've never fucked a child? No. but what I can do is save all your lives.
That's how we one of the stories in the film that we talk about is a temple in
I was gonna
India
get to that, yes.
in Rajasthan where they have the night rat killers in Mumbai who go out and kill these rats with sticks and nets in their bare hands. 12 hours north in Rajasthan, there is a very different, kind of outlook. It's a Hindu temple, and it's the rat temple where they honor the rats, they feed the rats. There's 35,000 rats.
Honor the rats.
Yeah, they don't kill them.
35,000 rats in this rat temple. They don't kill them, and their belief is that when we die as humans, we come back as the rat. And so they're like, this is our family. These are my grandparents. These are my great grandparents. So we have to take care of them.
I was Gandhi.
So
Don't fuck with me. Yeah. I look like a rat. I used to be fucking Gandhi.
Oh, so look at this picture.
I saved 250,000 you motherfuckers.
Look at the baby and
Look
the rat.
at the baby.
Don't step on me. I was Gandhi.
What the fuck? You're giving me to the dogs.
Right.
I saved your ass.
This is amazing. So people put their bodies
Talking through it.
they're drinking their milk, like they drink the rat milk with the rats. They
You're
eat
drinking
the food.
Gandhi.
It is unbelievable.
That's not rat. It's milk.
That's milk.
Okay,
but
just regular milk.
But floating on the top of it, you can see like the pee and the turds.
Right.
So how long before that child was eaten? Was somebody on it? Let me tell you, we're going to eat this kid. I'm going to eat this kid. He's going to come back as my assistant. I owned a 7-Eleven in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. He was Gandhi. You motherfucker.
But 35,000 rats at the temple.
Rats. They
You're
eat
drinking
the food.
Gandhi.
It is unbelievable.
That's not rat. It's milk.
That's milk.
Okay,
but
just regular milk.
But floating on the top of it, you can see like the pee and the turds.
Right.
So how long before that child was eaten? Was somebody on it? Let me tell you, we're going to eat this kid. I'm going to eat this kid. He's going to come back as my assistant. I owned a 7-Eleven in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. He was Gandhi. You motherfucker.
But 35,000 rats at the temple, and the people are just moving among them. The rats are pretty much walking over their feet and stuff.
The self-esteem, that's what your people believe. You come back as a rat?
Like, why a rat as opposed to a dog?
Yeah, or
a
something.
Chicken,
right.
Why a rat was
or
made
Ashton Kutcher.
as opposed to a copperhead.
Were you skeeved out at the temple?
I mean, there's plenty of places where you get skeeved out, especially there because you're like walking around barefoot. Like, and we put on socks. I was like, I'm not walking around my bare feet. So we put on. They said you can wear some socks, it'll be fine. But it's still, it's gross.
I've got a butt fly up my ass. I was Gandhi. What's the matter? Put your socks on, Mr. Big Shot.
I went to the Toronto International Film Festival for the first time 2 years ago, and I had a blast.
It's amazing. What a great festival.
Who gives a shit?
I was going to ask you about it. How was the experience?
I'm a goddamn rat.
I can't with that.
Who gives me what to some festival? I'm eating my own shit. I was Gandhi and I've got a butt fly in my throat. This motherfucker from Duke is telling stories about a festival. Have another scotch. My fucking wife is still here, screaming at me as a rat. As a rat. Yeah, as a rat. As a rat. Oh, you were fucking annoying as a human. And this uppity Spurlock's putting on socks. Sorry, buddy. Am I too dirty for you? I guess I got dirty saving every goddamn motherfucker in India. Good movie.
Good movie.
Could have made a movie about me when I was a goddamn person. The rats. Motherfuckers. I'm eating my own shit with a butt fly.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my God.
Do we have tickets to the premiere?
Yeah.
I bet not. I bet you went bare feet to the premiere, you motherfucker. An angry rat who used to be Gandhi.
I just have people calling me from that that corporation over there,
right?
And they're upset. And I for years I didn't say anything, but I'm like, you know what? I'll just.
Wait, who's upset?
That Howard's organization. I got people calling from within the.
Oh, because of the Daily Mail article?
No, long before that. They're just upset the way the stories I hear. The stories I hear, the way they're getting treated. It's not the guy I knew.
Yeah. I've heard those stories for the last bunch of years. They're leaking out.
But he's not the man I knew. Like the way he's treating people, supposedly. I mean, they're just hearsay and stuff. So I just kind of. Let stuff out a little bit because those people have to have a little bit of a voice. You're talking about people who are, homeless, maybe, who used to work for them.
Right.
And they can't get in touch with them. People who left a lot of blood on that floor, man.
Right. Made the show great.
I didn't have to, talk about felonies I committed on the biggest radio show. I didn't have to. That wasn't in the contract. I didn't check with anybody. And I'd get out on the 6th Avenue after that show going, what did I just say?
Yeah. Bill Burr used to say stuff like that. Bill Burr would come, not felony stuff, but I mean, he would.
Well, you got to commit him to have a story.
Yeah, he would be on the radio show, and it would just get so ugly and so twisted and dark. And then he would leave the building and go, and then I'm facing a bright sunny day, and I feel like I needed to go take a rape shower.
No, and then it's New York. Got a UPS guy going, was that hooker dead?
I'm sure. I've witnessed all of this.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I've witnessed all of this.
Construction guys going, Artie, did that clear up?
Yeah, really. Show me the scar. Show me the scar. I want to see just one of them. Show me one.
Well, at least they're listening to the stories.
Well, it's the Stern Show.
Yeah.
I'm telling guys
and it's prime.
I'm telling guys to go to work in Missouri.
Right. You got to work on that show, and it's prime, man.
Listen, man, someone told me around 2003, somebody told me, and again, this is a testament to Howard. I jumped on a train that was already moving fast. All I could do was fuck it up. That first ratings book, I'm going, what if it plummeted?
Yeah.
I'm the only difference.
Yeah. They'll all stare at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wow, what's different?
No,
look around the room and point at
That's true. You're lucky you didn't get your arm yanked off. That's how fast that fucking train was going at the time. No, that was well said.
Steamrolling and what stench of failure is coming from it? I would get,
the level of self-deprecation is amazing.
One of the agents.
Awesome.
One of the agents said to me that worked on the radio said they did some study in 2003 at 9:16 or whatever New York time. There were 11 million people listening to it.
Wow.
All over the and you realize what you're telling them because Howard's great that intimate thing. You think you're talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
It's that's right. A lot of people are hearing this right now.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, Cabby did a year in the joint because he fucking said he was saying out loud on the radio. He just wasn't paying taxes. On the commercial, I said, "Cabby, why don't you calm down? You're not on the yuck and fuck face show."
Good show though.
Right,
I always love that show.
Yuck's underrated.
Nothing against.
When those teams break up, it's always one bitter guy.
I know. Same thing with the comedy duos.
Willie Tyler has not talked to Lester in
years. He's still mad about those McDonald's residuals. He's still goddamn angry.
That's right. That guy made more than I did.
I love that though. Why don't you calm down a little bit?
Yeah, I know. Camp, listen. What are you doing? The next day, two guys in Men in black suits came and said, "Where's Crazy Cabby's office?" Cut to him in chains. Yeah.
The next day,
he did a year. The next day.
Wow, they didn't fuck around.
Came together. I had two DEA agents come in because I made when Heath Ledger died. I said me and him had the same heroin dealer.
Yeah,
and the joke was it was Mary Kate Olsen.
Right.
She was on her way to the planet.
I remember she was. She was in there somehow.
She wasn't bringing him green juice.
Right.
So that was the joke, but the DEA didn't like that. So the next day, I'm at my place of business. I work there. You know how embarrassing it is. Like security guys goes, he goes, "Oh man, you're one entertaining fuck up, man." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "The DEA guys here." They had the windbreakers on. They called me in a room and they said, we're investigating the death. Is that true?" I said, "No." I said, "Unless you want to investigate Mary Kate Olsen."
Yeah.
That's all I meant.
Fake snitch on Mary Kate.
But they weren't sure that they had to come by.
By accident, they arrest the other one. That would be great.
Good night, everybody.
It's the kind of jokes that get you free wings.
No, but
you should have set her up. That would have been hilarious.
Well, I said no, guys, and thanks for doing it like discreetly.
Yeah,
they came
exactly.
to the show. We were in a commercial break, for Christ's sake.
Right.
And they left, and everyone was like, how was the meeting with the DA?
So what's going on over there, man? There's changes, and I guess you went off a little bit on the podcast, and then the Daily Mail picked it up.
Every once in a while,
you dip in a little bit.
Because I start thinking about it, because people do call me good people who were like family to them. I saw that, they were like sons to them, some of them, and they're in a lot of trouble, and they can't get in touch with them. They think I can get in touch with them. I think I can't either,
Yeah.
And there's this woman over there who just took over.
Marcy.
Yeah, Marcy Turk, who's like, I've never met her, but she seems like an evil person. And, suppose you have to talk to her to get permission to talk to him. I said that that can't be the same guy I work for. And,
that was the mistake I made. I guess I had to tell her I'm going to say good morning to Howard in the hallways.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
No, I can confirm that, because I would love to throw you under the bus. You told me but no, you told me when it happened. Like I swear to God, you were genuinely confused for like a week. He was walking around going, I still can't fucking put this together how this works.
And it's you. You're a major guy.
Well, they're not really treating me that
way. You are.
Let's just say I used to be,
Don't
Artie.
have a chair.
No, I used to be.
You still are.
I used to be. I don't have a fucking chair.
I'll say it for you.
Okay.
I don't think you deserve a chair. But
how about a beanbag chair?
It really is. The New York Times did an article about Howard, and it was. Look, he deserves all these accolades. He's the best ever. Like I with all due respect to all you guys, I sat next to that guy for 3 feet from him for 10 years. The guy is a genius at doing that. But what he's doing right now is going to hurt his legacy, because there's not one person who works for him who can say nice things, where they all would have said something nice when I left there.
Yeah.
He just has an impressive brain too. He's a smart guy. He's getting brainwashed by some con. She seems like she's a con artist. She's a fucking con artist. She's a grifter.
Succubus.
Yeah, I mean,
one of my favorite.
I truly don't know much about her.
She tapped into his anger,
right?
Of that, and look, he deserves to be angry too. He was a guy making $96 a week, and he says this out. He's told this before in Detroit as Hopalong Howie in the country station. Nobody wanted to be with him, and his wife really loved him. It was a beautiful sort of love story. And he came and he's fucking just scorched the earth, man. He came and just became the Babe Ruth of radio. Now everybody wants to be his friend.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of anger. And this woman, you don't have to be fucking Sigmund Freud. She saw like, all these people don't really love you. I know, I get you. And, High Pitch Eric doesn't get you.
I don't know who that is.
Gary the retard doesn't get you.
Don't say Gary the retard, Artie.
I would have quit right there. I would have said, if I can't call him the retard anymore, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Howard doesn't say the word retard.
It's Gary the Conqueror. Bye.
They changed his name to Gary the Conqueror.
Yeah. Bye.
That must be confusing to Gary the retard.
For fucking 8 years, whenever he called, I would go, "Oh, retard." It was when Howard was on America's Got Talent as a judge, sitting next to Heidi fucking dickhead Nazi Klum.
Yeah.
She's judging comedians. A stuttering comic. Howard told a stuttering comedian that he was an unfunny stuttering comedian.
Yeah.
That he was inspirational. Stuttering John was almost suicidal after those shows.
Right.
He couldn't open his mouth without He almost hung himself 3 times.
I guess
inspirational. What the fuck happened? How is he pulling this off?
I guess I would say this: people are allowed to change, right?
Yeah.
So
nobody changes like this. This would be like Hitler running a temple.
Oh, so you don't think the changes are like legit?
Look, let me tell you something.
Okay.
And you know comedy. Nobody can make that much of a pivot on how they feel about Ellen DeGeneres' dancing. I mean, we used to say what it was. This is horrible.
Yeah.
Housewives wouldn't laugh at this.
Yeah.
She's clearly she's duping the world.
Yeah.
And now he says he looks forward to it.
Are you
fucking kidding me?
Whose joke was it that I used to love? Because it might have been him or you that said, zoom in on her face. She looks just like Owen Wilson. There's an uncanny similarity. And that's from their show somewhere.
Look, sure, if it was me, I would have said Flip Wilson. No, you're right. She does. She does. She's clearly just she came out at the right time.
Yeah.
You know, like that show was terrible.
I said she doesn't even really want to dance either, but being
It's
a
too late now.
lesbian, she figured out this bit where she gets to rub up against the women every day at work.
That's your angle.
That was my angle.
You're
Yes,
right.
of course it was.
That's a good point.
Because she's a stand-up comic, so there's no way in the end she
Okay,
actually
right.
likes dancing for
Hey,
people.
Megan Fox is on today.
Right.
We're gonna make the dancing longer.
Right. So she's got like.
That's how she met
Look,
Portia.
She's got these hot women in the audience like wiggling their hips. She's a lesbian. She gets to
Look
pick.
at her.
She gets
Look
to
at
pick
her.
what row she goes down. She sees which women she's attracted to that afternoon.
She looks
and
like
then
Chuck
she goes for
Knobloch.
it.
Knobloch.
You're right. She's picking up pussy.
She studies the audience. I did this whole bit, and then she's like, "I'm going down this aisle," and then see there she goes. All right, I like
to
this.
do a little gauntlet.
Pick up the documentary. Let's Spend the Night Together. The Rolling Stones, 1981. Bill Wyman plays the bass. All he does is look for pussy. That's all he does. You think one of them got shattered?
Yeah.
He's not even playing sometimes. He's lighting a cigarette and just looking for fucking pussy. That's what she's doing. Like, hey, come on backstage. That's true. I never noticed that.
So yeah, he can't be looking forward to Ellen DeGeneres dancing every day.
Who could do that?
That's just silly.
That's an about face, boy. I tell you,
it's
that's
a big about
you
face.
But you're not believing in the about face itself.
No. Who could change that much?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
who could change that much?
Ice-T went from saying kill the cops to playing a cop on TV. Remember Body Count? He had
that was a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
Eric, I still can't hear you in the headphones. I only bitched about that for the last 3 days. Maybe they'll fix that eventually. But what were you going to say?
There's a lot of talk about The Bachelor on there.
On the Stern show?
No, that used to be. That was always. His taste in TV was always the Friends, The Bachelor.
Right.
He used to do that. But as far as Ellen DeGeneres being like Richard Pryor because she dances. We used to hate her. The tapes are there. Pick up the fucking tapes. This is an illusion. Sometimes I think I'm in a fucking dream world. Sometimes I think I stabbed myself and died, and I woke up in a world where Howard Stern likes Ellen DeGeneres is dancing. I woke up in a world where the Yankees suck, the Mets are good, and Howard Stern loves Ellen DeGeneres.
Keep going. Come on.
Yeah, Portia de Rossi. Again, she's like she's had her face buried in that pussy for fucking 7 years. I'd be in a daze too. She's like a surrogate for her. And he has her on the show and kisses her ass. He said he looks forward to the dancing. He gets up and looks forward to it.
Do you feel like he wants his legacy to be a little different? Because when you're in the shock
he wants
jock
to make
world,
it shittier?
Well, no, I mean when you're getting older and this is what you do for a living, maybe you don't want to be known as the guy that was throwing baloney on girls' asses, and you're hoping that.
What do you want to be known as?
I think
Clinton?
I think he wants to be known as a great interviewer.
He is. He definitely.
All right,
is,
but he
listen,
already has that.
The guy is the one. Here's what disappoints me. He's the one guy who could say to these PC police who took over show business, "Fuck you! I can make more money than any of you. My fans like me more, and I could say whatever the fuck I want."
Right.
He's the one guy who could have done that and make $100 million. I don't need to kiss Brad Pitt's ass.
Right.
He needs to kiss mine, quite frankly.
Right.
And we all felt like idiots. My point is, like, look, I was a fan of that show before I got on. My old man came home from work one day. My father climbed roofs for a living. He was a roofer. Got to the 9th grade in school. And he comes to me and he goes, the summer of 1982, he goes, "You're coming to work with me tomorrow." I go, "Why?" He goes, "You got to hear this fucking guy. He's so funny. And I think you'd love him." So my father and me bonded on two things, the Yankees and Howard Stern.
Right.
That was it. And we would stop and pull over and eat lunch. My mother would make like a sausage and pepper sandwich. And we're sitting there and we're listening to him. We bonded on it. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
So when he fell and became a quadriplegic, he fell off a roof. We had, again, what you tell, but I don't give a shit. Lawyers came around to sue people because if you fall off a ladder, you sue the ladder company. You get millions of dollars. So this lawyer comes around and he goes, "All right, we're going to sue the ladder company because you fell off a house that has no homeowner's insurance." And the guy had $200,000 to his name. My mother refused to take that money from him, which I was proud of my mom for that. She wouldn't take the guy's life savings. The guy goes, "No, don't worry. The ladder company will pay up because they'll feel bad." So when he said that, I said to my dad, I said, "Should you tell him or me?" I went up to the lawyer. I said, "He stole the ladder." The guy said, "What?" I said, "The ladder says Bell Atlantic on it." My father was driving by a Sears warehouse, and he needed a new ladder. So he sees, he was a kleptomaniac from Newark, my father. He sees a ladder next to a belt truck. He goes quietly, takes it like it's his ladder, and puts it on his van. And that was the ladder he fell off of.
Right.
He had to put that ladder on a picnic table because it wasn't tall enough.
Yeah.
So the lawyer hears that, and he goes, "Excuse me?" I said, he stole the ladder. He calmly put his notes back together and said, "I wish you guys luck." So I had we had to go on welfare. We went on welfare. Wow. It was very difficult. So the only thing in that depressing time, we're about to lose the house, is he would laugh at the Stern Show. That was the one thing.
Yeah.
And we sent away to all these local celebrities, the Giants, the Jets, and Howard, for something for an auction for him. Howard is the only guy who sent something. He sent a satin K-Rock jacket that he signed. And one day we're listening, and we got on the air. He said, Gary said, "By the way, that quadriplegic got the jacket." And Howard said, "Does he think if he wears the jacket, he's going to walk again?" It was so funny. He did it.
Of course.
It was a Howard joke. We were laughing at it. We were on the show in 1987. My father dies in 90. And when he died, he said, "Take care of your mother and sister," on his deathbed, basically. I was a mess when he died. So, as opposed to the Jack LaLanne I am now. So he never saw that. The job I got about 9 years later, being a co-host of that show, he would have been like, if I was a senator, it wouldn't have been as impressive.
Right.
He
of
would
course.
have, and I feel sort of robbed of that a little bit. So that's the connection I have with Howard. So this comes from a place of a lot of love.
Yeah, I didn't know about the backstory.
Yeah.
I had no idea that you and your father were on there back in the day.
Well, he mentioned my dad, and then my dad died of complications. Some guy helped him kill himself. He would ask me to kill him every day. And because he was in hell, and I said, "Dad, are you thinking this through? What about me?"
Right, right. I got to live with this.
So you're in hell for whatever the fuck you did, and I'm in Trenton State. How was that helping the family?
Wow.
So the Stern Show meant a lot to me for a long time. It still does, and I just think this woman is a con artist and somehow got infiltrated over there, and people are getting mistreated. And the stories I've heard directly from people, I won't say any names, but it's like, that's not Howard, man. Howard, the guy I knew was so generous,
right?
Paid for everything, wouldn't let anybody, like he acted like he should. A lot of celebrities have a resentment, like, no, he just, everything was on him. Right. Private jets. And so what's happening right now is it's just weird,
What about Gary? How does he fit in with this whole thing?
I mean, Gary's Gary.
Wasn't Gary the one that was pretty much running everything behind the scenes, and now she kind of took over for that, right?
Yeah. You think that makes Gary feel good? This broad comes in, got a bigger office.
This sounds like when the billionaire, the heiress, or the butler starts manipulating them late in life.
Right. That's what I'm trying to prevent happening.
Remember that? I've seen too many Lifetime made-for-television. Doris Duke, the poor little rich girl.
Oh, you're right. All of a sudden, Howard's praising Z Morning Zoo guys.
You said in the Daily Mail, the Daily Mail listened to your podcast, did a whole story.
Oh, thanks, guys. I hope you're not stealing it like everyone else.
I got to listen for free.
I know.
Oh, okay. And I
don't know how to do that.
I just call him. That's what I do.
Your quote is saying Howard lost his mind if the stories I hear are accurate.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Again, in print stuff sounds a little harsh.
Yeah.
But no. But I mean that again. Worried about him because they are. If the stories are accurate, it's like he does seem like he lost a part of his mind that sort of had compassion for the people that worked there. And believe me, he had a lot of it. And it wasn't fake either. The TV guys, they were fired on the air.
I know.
They were soldiers. They
were
loyal.
awesome guys.
They
man.
were pirates, those guys. So much fun. And they were like sons to him. And now they can't get him on the phone.
On the softening, do you think, like the Ellen stuff, did he become a grandpa? I've seen a lot of mean guys go soft when grandpa time rolls
Well, that's
around.
the other thing, too, about Howard. One of the best compliments you give anybody. He's got 3 unbelievably wonderful, classy daughters. They're so sweet, those girls. He's a great parent, clearly. Like, there's no hint of...
Well, that's what I'm saying. If one of them got married and the grandkids come rolling in, everybody's seen Dr. Doom turn into, Care Bear.
Well, and to his credit, I think to his credit, he stopped with the Sybian because...
He's enjoying the Ellen dancing.
Anything's possible.
Anything is fucking possible.
But he could be the head of ISIS. Maybe this woman's ISIS. I never thought of that. They radicalized a redhead. I mean, she's very dangerous.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, but again, he stopped. His daughters got older. He stopped doing stuff with the Sybian, and he's capable, clearly, of evolving. He can assimilate to any type of radio and be great. But him and his wife did an amazing job with those kids. Like, that's hard to do. And I know he he really, that was important to him.
Right.
And I met all three of them briefly, and they're just, God, they're so sweet, they're respectful, and you meet some rich kids in L.A., man. Oh, my God, I just want to punch him in the face. Like, I hate that they get better weed than me. I think he didn't have another kid because of me. I think, look, I'm 3 for 3. He's like, what if I have Artie?
We'll stop right here.
So he's a good man. So what is the explanation for this? You know, I don't know.
What about he seems to be holding a grudge against you because I read the article and you know, by the way, this is weird because you've been doing my show for a couple of years and I purposely made sure not to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, well, no,
but now it's like it's out there, so I guess today is.
Again, I don't think I'm saying anything. Like I'm saying stuff where I'm actually complimenting him as how great he is, how great he was to me, and how weird these stories. I'm trying to give a voice to some of these guys,
right?
And I had a choice to not to do that.
Right.
And I wouldn't say any names, but
what about the?
You know, listen, I did something. Here's another thing. I hate when people say he never tried to help you. I go, how would you know? These people just listen to the show. Howard tried to help me for 5 straight years. He told me, what better can a boss say than this? He said, Art, go get better. Take as long as you want. I'll help you. When you're done, come back and you have a job. What else would you want to? He said it to me 3 times.
Yeah.
And I tried a couple times, and I shit all over it like a typical addict.
Right.
I left the rehab in Miami, okay? While they were on the air, January of 2009, I went to the Satai 5-star hotel in South Beach. I got a hooker. I ordered room service, and I called the show live. They thought I was in rehab, and I put the waiter on who couldn't speak English, and Howard asked what I had for breakfast. There was a lot of pancakes, and the hooker, and I'm like, clearly, it's like, and Gary said to me, he goes, all right, you know, look, it was funny, but you don't want to get better. It makes us look stupid. It's disrespectful. We're helping you.
Right.
And he was right. He was right.
But it's great radio.
It is great radio.
Sorry to say,
it never dawned on me.
It
never dawned on me that was a good point till he just said the guy said it. And
I know.
Fuck. Good point.
I'm just thinking about.
Damn it.
From where I sit,
I'm missing good points.
From where I sit, I'm like, God damn, that's great radio.
I'll do you a favor. I'll do you a favor. I'm gonna give you great radio.
Wow, that's great. Oh, that's right. This is a life and death situation.
I'm sorry. I know you secretly love Ellen, and you want to get to that.
The idiot Mr. Libra in me just constantly goes back and forth. I'm enthralled, and I'm like, oh fuck.
So let me tell you something. If you went back like defending your life with Albert Brooks and looked at my whole life, you'd see 2 things: a stunning lack of preparation, and 2, missing a lot of good points.
That's your headstone.
So that was the first time you left rehab?
Yeah, that was the 3rd time.
3rd time, okay.
If you go back to like 1.
So, but it seems like he's holding a grudge though, because I read the article, and you know, when your book came out, if you obviously would love to have gone on that show and promoted it.
Right. Only if they want me to. I don't want, like, I was like, look, I don't want to be hostile.
But they asked, and they said no. And then the book company said, well, we'll buy a spot over there at least. You know, he reaches a huge audience.
They were playing,
And they said no to the Artie Lang book commercial.
The guy called me up. The guy from their marketing department at Simon & Schuster said, Art, this has never happened before. They wouldn't take our money. He didn't have to read it.
Yeah.
He never would even heard it was on.
Right.
Like a commercial you don't even hear is playing, you know.
Right.
And a lot of money. And I don't want to ask because I don't want to give Gary the opportunity. I love Gary, but I don't want him to be so like, I don't want to get the smug attitude I just want to give some people who try to get back on. But they were paying me a lot of money. It was the 2nd book, and Too Fat to Fish made good money, so they gave me a lot of money. And I felt guilty. They said, all right, let me ask. It's the least I could do. Because one plug on that show sells a lot of books. Gary says, let me get back to you. The next day he calls me up. He goes, it just ain't happening. Almost with like a smuggy thing. I'm like, okay, Gar, thanks. I told the book company that, and then without me knowing, they tried to get the commercial played, and they couldn't believe that
they said no to the commercial.
So that's hostile. They said that. I mean, that's a hostile move.
What do you think you did to him? You just exhausted. He just got exhausted by you.
Listen, I was very disrespectful, but because I was on dope. I mean, I'm not a disrespectful guy, but when you're on heroin, I'm not me. But look, I could argue I was funnier on heroin. When I fell asleep, I was funnier.
Right.
My favorite thing I ever did on that show, I might have told you this. Kathy Griffin came in,
Yes.
and said she was telling her mother that she won an Emmy and it was all sentimental, and you just hear me snoring. It's just so great.
Goes right out on it, just your head down drooling.
Oh, I know. She's going, and my mother always wanted me to win an Emmy, Howard, and I told her, Mom, I'm nominated for an Emmy.
It's like the best.
I've never done anything funnier than that.
That's great.
It's just the best.
Subtlety at its finest.
But listen, I think he started to make this pivot to this amazing show that he in his head. This show that, look, he said, I mastered that kind of radio. This is all my theory. And he said, I'm great at interviewing, and he was. He did the best Paul McCartney interview I've ever seen in my life, and he could do long form now. He probably said, look, these guys won't come in because of the type of radio I do. Let me make a pivot and let people know I'm not doing that anymore. And maybe Jack Nicholson comes in here, and I have the definitive Jack. I think he wants to leave behind a library of the greatest celebrity interviews.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. He wants to change his legacy a little bit and be known for a little something maybe a bit more highbrow.
But
Charlie Rose?
But ironically enough, well, that type of thing, yeah. But I mean, ironically enough, though, in doing this, he might change his legacy to where, it's not that great because of the people he's sort of ignoring. And I don't want that to happen. It's more important to me.
Right.
Gilbert has a great joke where he goes, I see Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in these awful movies, and they say our legacy doesn't mean anything. It means something to me.
Yes, exactly.
So,
when was the last time you saw Howard? I think you told the story. Wasn't it in a hospital?
The other thing that kind of hurt was the day I walked out of that show, and it was bad. He clearly made up his mind. I'm just never going to see Artie again. He can write people off like that. I'm not like that. I come from this big Guinea family where you fucking forgive everything. And I didn't see him for 2 years. I went to rehab. I came back. I was doing all right. I got this show with Apollo, and we were making good money and having fun. And I was doing stand up again. And I mean, the first show I went back to do stand up, I sold 6,000 tickets in Philly in like 20 minutes because I guess I was an oddity. They wanted to see if I was walking, but like a gorilla in its enclosure. But I was back. Right.
Don't disturb him. I was at one of those early shows. That's when I finally.
This is the show I saw you.
When we finally socialized. We used to see each other in the hallway here and there. And
that day I yelled at you. I was high. I was out of line.
No.
I apologize.
Wait a minute. Did you yell at him?
No,
I don't know any of this.
No, I yelled at it's just long
we almost fought in the hallways. And I saw the e-cameras coming. I'm like,
he said
walked
something
away
in the
from
bathroom that was justified. He was like,
No, I was mad because what happens with these two shows over the years, like. There's some real shots taken. I'm not saying you personally took a shot. I don't know.
I mean,
and if you did, whatever. I don't even give a fuck.
I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, if you listen to the radio show, it sounds like an all-out radio war.
Right.
And then in the hallway, Artie's like, he's a great guy. And we know the same people.
Yeah,
and he's saying, hey, Ope, what's up? What's going on? And that day, I was so mad because I'm like, on the radio, you're playing this with the rest of them, you hate our fucking guts, but now we're we're buddies in the hall.
My only issue was people would play me tapes of you guys. Look, I was on Stern. It was a radio war. So what I said about you wasn't based in anything because I don't know you. So I was just talking.
Yeah.
And I was defending a guy, my boss. I'm defending Howard. And you mentioned something that was probably justified, and I blew up like an idiot. And Gary should just come back, and you walked out. And that was the only real interaction we ever.
I got in your face because it started with him just saying hi, and I'm like,
hi. That sounds familiar.
No, because it was like, oh yeah.
Maybe you should have hit him with a chair.
Why you?
I'm like, and I explained to him that's fucked.
That's how you get through to Artie.
That's fucked up because on the air you're not whatever. But the cool thing is,
I mean, come on, we all have. I'm Uncle Floyd's not
it's
like
all
that.
good. It's all good. But the cool thing with Artie though, we talked it out. I think it was the next day we happened to see each other in the hall again. We talked it out. We hugged, and we're over it.
You realize how ridiculous it is, a radio war.
Exactly. But anyway, the last time you saw Howie,
I saw again. So I figured it was like I couldn't get in touch with him. I would call him and go, Howard, I just want to say I'm sorry. Because it wasn't his fault at all. When fans say that, I get so fucking mad, and I try to defend them. But maybe he was mad at that I put him through that, And people do lie to him, by the way, about stuff I never did, because the fucking sharks are swirling.
Oh,
a lot of people who thought they could sit in that chair,
right?
Who, there's a reason that chair has been empty for, not just because he hates me,
right?
But a lot of those people, there's a lot of gossip over there that I never partook in because I don't want to be a sycophant. I always said to myself, I can be funny without that shit. I don't have to tell you someone has a stain on their shirt. I can be funny.
Yeah.
And I was sort of proud of that. So who knows? But someone probably told him something that might not be true, and he doesn't, instead of checking with me. So it hurt a little bit that he was never going to see me again. Howard, Robin Quivers, who I adore, too. She, again, so generous to me when I was there. She bought me these real expensive gifts, was very nice to me. I threw her a party at my shore house, the only non-family member who I threw a party for because I felt I owed her, and I loved hanging out with her. She got sick. She got cancer, and no one knew about it publicly for a while. But I got called by her assistant, and he said, "Robin wants you to know," and I was devastated by it. And she was getting a big operation at Beth Israel, and I went over there, and I made sure she was going to see visitors, and I went to unannounced. I was going to surprise her. And I made sure through the assistant it'd be okay. So I went there, and the security guard recognized me, and I go, "He's up there,
Oh, immediately.
I get this guy listens so much. It's like, I guess he knows the feel. I'm like, what do you? All right, everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't get out the Uzis. I walk in the room. It's me, Howard, and Robin. After 2 years, after all that happened, in a small hospital room. Howard looked at me. It was like we just got off the radio. He said, "We got to make Robin laugh. Come on, Artie. Let's make Robin laugh." Perfect. Artie's a perfect guy. And I sat down, and for like an hour, we talked like we were on the radio, making her laugh. And it was like touching almost. Yeah. And then he had to leave, and I said, "I'm going to stay and talk to Robin for a while." And I hugged him, and I said, "I'm sorry. This is not the place to do it." And he goes, "How you doing?" I go, "I'm on to the show with Nick." He goes, "That's great." And it was sort of like this, I'm done now. That attitude of like, I got to leave.
Right.
So I let him go, and I hugged him, and that was it. He goes, "Can I call you?" He goes, "Yeah." So I stayed with Robin for another hour or so, and that was very nice. She looked good, but she was in the woods for a while, and she beat it, and I know she would. And I got out and I called him again, and he never called me back. 3 times I left messages. I said, "This is the last time, man. I'm not going to be that guy who bugs you."
And you didn't want anything.
No, of course not. No,
I want people to know that because you were doing great with Nick and the books.
I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Look, I would go back to loaded trucks before I asked anybody for anything.
Sure.
I don't need that.
Totally.
I went off on a tangent, but that's what I meant to say. So I was at one of those first shows down in Philly when you came back for the first time, and holy fuck, the love in that room.
Yeah, they were
you destroyed, and the fans were out of their minds.
Well, those are radio fans. You could attest to that. Radio fans are much more affectionate and like intimate than TV and movie because you're their friend going to work or something in the car, or not going to work. It's like, and those people there. I always knew they felt that way, but that was the epicenter. That was Philly.
Yeah.
It was South Jersey, North Jersey, and New York. That's all Atlantic City. Yeah. And you get that epicenter of stir people. There were girls there hugging me like they were crying, like they were my cousin.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just so happy they look like me, but no, I'm kidding. They were hugging me like I was related to them. Mm-hmm. And they we're just so happy you're okay. And it was a real thing. And that's what, Howard and stuff like guys like you who made and Anthony who made a real impact on fans. You should be proud of that because there are the yuck and dickhead shows. They try like crazy.
Yeah.
They can't do it. So Howard made that connection that I sort of jumped onto, and the fact that they accepted me into that family is the best thing that's ever going to happen to me in a comedy career. I have a connection with a crowd, and so this is not coming from a hateful place with Howard. It's coming from a place where I for a couple of years I had those guys calling, and I'm trying to stand up for them a little bit. At the end of the day, Howard's going to be fine. Some of these guys might need a place to stay, and I don't want to be my place.
I'm the lucky one in this whole thing because they're all marching to my show.
Listen, thank you for giving us. I mean, this is great to do this.
It's been you, it's been Gilbert, it's been Pat Cooper, Stuttering John came in here, Jackie the Joke Man.
Look,
I'm like, hey, all's welcome.
I read on Twitter you and Vic Henley are, and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
From what I've learned from you guys and other radio across America and 30 years on the road is not only are the fans that passionate, and y'all said radio wars, I bet you there are radio war reenactors. Somewhere in Wichita, there's 2 groups of fuckers that are still going after each other because of Morning Zoo and against the Dawn Patrol.
Guys who dress up like Ron and Fez.
They're grabbing a wig and leaving their house to fight the war.
I'm Cousin Brucey. Bob and
that's what I'm saying. Bob and Tom.
Yeah, Bob and Tom
versus John Boy and Billy. Throwing it down, by God.
Oh, that's great.
Where I sit, I don't get it.
You're lucky you're sitting. You got a chair.
Thank you. I don't get it to a point because guys like you and Gilbert and Cooper, especially Jackie to some extent, I'm like, how do How do you let those guys go? They're fucking unbelievable.
It's hard to find
Cooper.
It's hard to find funny guys on the radio.
You say hi to Pat Cooper and you sit back for an hour and he just fucking destroys.
You get a 3-act play. And Pat Cooper, this might be my favorite mention of any celebrity. In Pat Cooper's book, here's a sentence. I love Artie Lang, but he's an asshole.
That should be on the back of your book. That should be the quote.
What asshole does heroin and stabs himself?
But why did he turn his back on all those guys?
Again, it's a contempt for people that he developed. He's seen a shrink on the Upper West Side must charge him like crazy money.
Yeah.
He should sue that guy. It's not working.
It's not working.
Yeah, like I say it sometimes on stage, I go, I've been seeing a personal trainer for a year.
Yeah.
I think I have a lawsuit. Well, that's it. I mean, you know what? You just got, that's as honest as I've ever been anywhere about this publicly. And,
right.
That's it. I'm just puzzled. It's more to give these guys who call me a little bit of a voice, but I want to let people know how great Howard was to me and how great a person I knew, and why this is all just a little weird. That's all.
Right.
That's how it sounds to me. I don't think. And a minute ago when you said it was like touching, it was fucking amazingly touching.
Yeah. I mean, we were
the hospital room story. It was like that. No, I was sitting there. I'm like, I'm about to tear up. It was more than like touching.
Right. Yeah.
It was fucking touching.
Well, the three of us were alone. And imagine that in the hospital.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And Jackie was there, and I took over for him, I think. Jackie was in the room first. They said, over money, he left.
Well, that's what they did the night they wouldn't play your book commercial. They just replayed a lot of his VHS cassettes. They just sold a lot of copies of Who Farted, Ice Melted.
Hot dogs and donuts. Talk about the lowest common denominator.
I think why the hospital room worked was because everything was stripped down to just nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no bullshit.
And there was a real serious thing.
Yeah.
Robin was sick.
Right, right. So all the gossip doesn't mean anything. The relationships you might have with other fucking people and the fans and this and that. It was just you three in a room in a serious situation.
And Howard immediately diffused it. He immediately said,
but my point, but my point is that should have fueled something.
Yeah.
Something. Not maybe.
I called him. That's all I can tell you. The truth
is,
I called him. I left 3 voicemails, 3 different days, and finally I said, Howard, I'm not going to be that guy because I've been on the other side of this.
I didn't talk to him for almost 2.5 years, and
guys can make the kind of comedy in the radio you make. Like fans want to think you get along.
Right.
I think that's what I always said about the Beatles. Like people say, you want them to get along. You want Alan Arkin was getting interviewed. And he was a big Beatles fan. He said, "Look, it was so sad to us. These guys who made this music hated each other.
Right? They hated each other the whole time.
Right? Because you feel like you're duped as fans or something.
Right. You wanted it to be like the movie where they all walk in 4 separate doors, and then they're actually living in one big room together.
That's what I mean. Right? That's what you think it is.
Right.